Welcome to the Underdog podcast, where you can get Philly sports talk from Deacon, Cole, Shane, and Cody. And yeah, so we got Cole, we got Cody. Shane couldn't make it today, and today we're gonna be covering, draft targets for the Eagles to select at pick six, the Eagles offseason, Phillies spring training coming up, and the Carson Wentz, trade rumors. I mean, it's all going around. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna ask Cole, what would you like? What would your ideal trade be for Wentz?
I would honestly rather have picks than any players, but I know it's not going to go down like that. They're going to want to send at least one player over here, especially if it's the Bears. The Bears don't have like any cap space. So I'm assuming that we'd be like trading with like the Bears or something. I'd honestly like a realistic trade deal that I'd be fine with is like Foles, a first rounder, and like another early round pick for Wentz, and I'd take that like straight up.
All right, Cody.
Um, I if we're gonna give away Wentz, I want at least a first round pick, and I want another offensive player that would be nice or defensive player. Like if we trade with the Bears, a good defensive player would be nice, like a middle linebacker or something like that. Depends what we get in the draft, but we definitely need another first round pick.
And yeah, to go into like a draft like this, like a draft class this stacked with two first round picks, and the Bears, I think they have the 20th pick. So having that, could be like a really huge advantage.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's the Colts, I'd honestly just want straight up picks. I can't think of anyone on the Colts like that we'd want or need. Plus, they have just cap space galore, so they'd be fine with giving us just picks for ones.
And the problem with trading with the Colts is most of their like defensive players are like up and coming free agents. Like yeah, Malik Hooker, who's some other guys, Kari Willis. Like the Colts have like a lot of defensive players that are free agents. So so the Colts are in win now mode. Like and then they have all that cap hit. So what the Colts are gonna do is that okay, so the Colts they're gonna resign all the players they can, and they're just gonna trade picks because the Colts are not gonna trade players because they are in win now mode. All they really care about is like getting with the right players. They don't care if they give up like a first round pick because they really don't need it because they're that good.
yeah. I think we'll trade with the Colts because they need a QB, and I'm pretty sure they don't care about their first round. I mean, they would like to have it, but
Yeah, I feel like the Colts will be like more willing to like give up like two first round picks instead of one for the Bears because like the Bears like aren't really in win now mode. I mean like they could use like a first round pick to like add a player to like develop the team. But the thing is with the Colts is that they don't really care about first rounders because they have like an amazing run game, an amazing O line, an amazing defense, amazing coach. Like they don't really need that first round pick. That's why I think we would get way better value out of trading with the Colts. Plus, the Colts are probably like a better fit for one. So they definitely give up, I think, two first round picks and maybe more than that.
I disagree. Yes, everything says that they'd go with, give us a big package deal, but they've already expressed that it's not Wentz or nothing mode for them. Like they're willing to explore different options if they can't get Wentz for the price they want. So I'm really thinking that it's either going to be the Bears, which is probably the obvious choice, but I also think the 49ers may come in sneaky and steal him. I can honestly see them coming in and stealing Wentz.
I think it's also like dumb for the Colts not to try to get Carson because Frank and Carson's relationship is really good.
Yeah, I'd agree. I agree with that. I mean, like if you look at Wentz's 2017 season, he was with Frank Reich during that whole time period.
Yeah, they said that they have a really good relationship. And I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I would believe the reports that like it's not Wentz or nothing. Like I think they're willing to give up a little bit more than their asking price, but from what the reports say, I'd say Bears or
Well, at this
49ers right
point,
now.
like who can we like even believe? Because like there's so many different sources saying totally different things about Wentz and
True.
the trade, and like him demanding a trade when he might have not, or he did demand a trade, or he didn't. Like it's just so caught up. Like who are we supposed to believe? Like
Yeah.
like
True.
we've heard 16 different point of views of the same story, and like I have no idea who to believe. Like what's it called? Schefter, he tweeted out something else. Ian, what's his face? The other
Rapport
dude.
or
Yeah,
whatever his
him,
name
him.
is.
He tweeted out a different story. Like we have no idea who to believe at this point. Like it's kind of like insane. So for me, it's like I just can't wait until this trade gets done because so like the rumors can just stop about this because like when I'm going through Instagram, all I see is Carson Wentz like the rumors or stuff like that. It's just annoying to see it like every single time.
Yeah. It's all over my Instagram too.
Yeah, like every time every time I go into Instagram, I guarantee you I'll go in there right now.
Yeah, some Eagles pages are starting to not post about it anymore because they're so confused. But final line, I'm pretty sure Carson's going to get traded. I don't see a point of keeping him. Yes, will be a sad day when he does get traded, but it is what it is, and we're just gonna have to move on with Hurts.
All right, so we're gonna move on to draft prospects at pick 6. We obviously know, like the big shot Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner. He's a top pick. Jamar Chase from LSU, he's a top pick. You got guys like Surtain, Micah Parsons. I mean, maybe even Penei Sewell. He's a really good offensive tackle. But like if you were to have one guy for the Eagles to pick, who would it be, Cole?
Chase, 100%. I mean, it's not even a question for me. I mean, of course, I'm an LSU. I'm maybe a little biased, but Chase is just different. Like he just hits different. Like I can just see him in an Eagles uniform. He's just, I mean, he's very talented as we saw, and I don't know. I feel like he'll bring the best out in whoever our QB is, which I'm assuming it's going to be Hurts.
Yeah, and I mean, like our defense isn't bad, but it could use some work. I'm a Penn State fan. I watched Micah Parsons in 2019, and he was he's a monster. I mean, that guy is so athletic. I mean, the way he just reads plays and the way he gets into the backfield like that. I mean, it's insane how athletic he is. But you have to look at wide receivers because we have not been the best at drafting receivers. That's why we are still looking for one after 3 attempts at drafting one. So I think hopefully we hit on Jamar Chase pick and we don't have to worry about drafting a receiver and we can move on to, like a cornerback too or like a linebacker, something like that. Because like we're in like desperate need of a cornerback too, because Avonte Maddox is not that good in coverage. I mean, he's not. I mean, Darius Slay, even though he had a down year, but Darius Slay is still, a very talented corner. But like you need that second corner to be able to shut down wide receiver twos because there are some teams that wide receiver twos are better than most teams wide receiver ones, like the Bucks. Who else?
The Seahawks. I don't know if
The
DJ is
Vikings,
number
Justin
one.
Jefferson. You got Tyler
Oh,
Lockett.
Vikings are
You got guys
ridiculous.
like that. Like people are underrating how important a cornerback two is, and I think having a great cornerback two is really helpful for a football team. All
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
All right, Cody. So who do you want the Eagles to take at pick 6?
I mean, I have two: Micah Parsons or Jamar Chase. I mean, they're both really talented young players, and Jamar Chase, in my opinion, has the best hands in the class. And we really are desperate for a linebacker because our linebacker crew is terrible. And I mean, yeah, we do need receivers too, but it all depends. If we can trade with the Colts or the Bears and get like a decent linebacker, then I would want Jamar Chase for the draft. Just because either Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz, whoever is our starting QB at the beginning of the season, needs weapons.
In my opinion, I don't think we should go linebacker with our early pick. The only reason I'm saying that is Parsons doesn't complement our linebacker crew as good as someone like Moses later on, or the heck is the other guy? Who's the other like mid-round first guy that's there?
Joseph Asai from Texas, or
Is
no?
that him? It's someone, but anyways, they complement our linebacker core better, like Singleton and Edwards, than Parsons would. And I just think the better prospects overall would just be either getting Chase, Smith, or even Surtain, because we can always get a very decent linebacker in the mid round with whoever we trade with, because we're probably going to get a first rounder no matter what.
Yeah, like in my opinion, like the thing with Parsons, watching him at Penn State, he barely drops back into coverage. I mean, most of the times he's either like lined up as like an edge rusher or just like an outside line. Like he never lines up in pass coverage because he's so dominant at rushing the passer and just shutting down run plays. Like I've never seen him drop back in pass coverage, and like that's my main reason why I'm a little bit concerned with him, because linebackers in the NFL, I mean, no matter how talented you are at rushing the passer and shutting down run, you need to be able to cover pass, because in this league and in this modern era, like offenses, they are passing offenses, and I think if you have a linebacker who can't like cover in pass coverage, that's a problem. But since he's so dominant at rushing the passer and shutting down run plays, that makes him so good of a prospect. But in my opinion, I would probably have Jamar Chase. I mean, Cody, like you said, he probably has the best hands in the draft, and I think he's very explosive. I mean, like a big physical receiver. I mean, if you look at him, he's kind of like Justin Jefferson, but bigger and physical and probably better hands. Like I think Jamar Chase could be like end up having a better NFL career than Justin Jefferson, or end up being like a better player than Jefferson.
Jefferson's pretty good.
I mean, yeah,
pretty
he's
good.
really good.
And of course, we passed on him and everything, but that just sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
us drafting has been terrible. Like our owner or GM or whatever who drafts, right? They are picking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. You see that? That's what I'm also worried about. I'm worried about they're not going to pick the players we need, like Jamar Chase or Micah Parsons.
well, here's the thing. The good thing about having the 6th overall pick and like having this deep of a draft class is kind of impossible to miss. Like it's kind of because like if you look at the receivers in this class, you have Jalen Waddle, who probably would be a Heisman candidate if it weren't for him getting hurt. You have guys like Devontae Smith. I mean, I would not be mad if we took Surtain. Like if you take Surtain, it's good. But like there's so many guys in the draft and like around like the range of our pick that we could use that like it's almost impossible. I mean, I'm like even though Howie has like a history of bad drafting, it's kind of impossible to miss like on a pick 6. Like on like a pick like 21 like last year, it's easy to miss. But like on a pick 6 with this many players available, like I think it's impossible to miss on this pick. Like it's nearly impossible.
And another thing is, when I'm like looking at all of this, I'm thinking we're gonna have a pick at 20, or well, what's the other one? 19, 18 or something.
I'm pretty
With
sure the
the
Bears
Colts or
pick
the
at.
Bears.
No,
Oh no, it's 2021, isn't it? 20 and 21
yeah,
are the
yeah,
two they have.
yeah. The
So we're
Bears
gonna
pick
get
at
one of
20 and
those.
the Colts pick at 21. Yeah.
We're gonna get the 6th overall pick. Then we're gonna get another one in the second round. That's a 6th overall pick there. So my like dream scenario is Chase, Moses, and then whoever the best cornerback is left at the 6th pick in the second round. That's like dream scenario.
But the thing with pick 21 is that if we draft Chase, there's some like talent like at 21 because you look at what J.C. Horn from like cornerback from South Carolina. He is probably one of the best man coverage corners in this entire draft class. And if we can get Chase and J.C. Horn at pick 20 or 21, to me that would be amazing. And then add on Dylan Moses might fall to the second round. If we can get Horn, Chase, and Moses, I mean, like with those 3 picks to add on, we have another well not actually, but like we might have another second round pick, like depending on what the Colts give up. So if we can get 3 solid players with our 3 picks, I think like that could be very good for us.
Yeah, we definitely do need a cornerback.
Yeah, I mean like Avonte Maddox sucks in coverage. I mean what NRC Roby Coleman, he sucks in coverage. I mean like we are in desperate need of a cornerback too. because I mean you pay Darius Slay that money, so I mean A, you need Slay to step up, and B, you need whoever is playing cornerback too to have like an amazing season because like you can't just have a trash cornerback too and expect to win games defensively like in the modern NFL.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to whatever the next topic is.
All right, so all right, so what do we address so far?
Draft,
Draft
Carson
and
Wentz.
the Wentz, but I have one more.
I think the Phillies season, right?
Oh, we're gonna do that the last last, but okay, so now we have the Eagles off season. So Cole, I saw that you like did I guess like one like website where you like make like
Oh
roster
yeah,
moves and make trades
spot
like that.
track.
All right, so like Cole, explain to us what your ideal Eagles offseason is.
Well, there's actually a lot, but not going to get that into it. Release Goodwin, release Jackson, trade Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz, and Derek Barnett, and then from there you just have to reconstruct literally everyone you can reconstruct their contract. Like anyone on the roster, you have to reconstruct. Then probably release a couple other guys that are saving up money. Maybe trade like Malik Jackson or Alshon Jeffrey. That could work too to free up some space to get some free agents we actually need back or re-sign a couple guys like Ward, Singleton, Boston Scott, maybe even our punter Cameron Johnson could be useful. Richard Rodgers could be very useful because we run a 2 tight end, what do you call it, formation or whatever. But I don't know. That's just what I would do. And I don't know. We'll probably mess it up anyways and probably still be under debt next year somehow. But yeah, that's honestly what I do from what I can see.
And like the thing about what was I gonna say? Oh, trade Avonte Maddox for literally any pick. Like I would trade him for
I agree.
I would trade him for like the 18th, like I would trade him for like the last pick in like the 18th round in like the XFL draft. Like I would trade Avonte Maddox for literally anything. Anything.
I mean, yeah, we need to get any pick we can get this year.
Yeah, especially with
Save some money too.
Like I would trade Maddox for like a 5th or a 6th, to be honest. Like a 5th is probably like the most we're probably gonna get for him because he sucks. But I mean, I'm not wrong. He's good at tackling, but he sucks in coverage. I mean, he's just not that good.
He should be a safety.
Yeah, like he wouldn't be bad as a safety. It's just the fact that he's so like I'd honestly rather see Jalen Mills as our cornerback too than Avonte Maddox. Because Jalen Mills
100%.
is a pretty good player. He's pretty good.
Cody, you have any thoughts on the Eagles offseason? What do you want to see them do?
Yeah, I'm sad to say it, but they do need to trade Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz. And they also need to get rid of Alshon Jeffrey and Malik Jackson just to give us more cap room because they're old players and they're just wasting, they're hogging up the cap. I don't know. Yeah, they're hogging up the cap. And we need as much picks as we can get. If we trade people, if we can get late rounds, then get late rounds because we could get a steal of the draft because this draft class is stacked. So I think we just need to trade the old people, give them away. I think we should do Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz in a package deal just to see if we can get more players. I mean, more picks.
See, here's the thing with that, because I brought that up in the Instagram group chat that we have, and I said, well, if you put Wentz and Ertz in the same deal, then you're probably gonna get 2 firsts and probably like 2 firsts and a second. So if we trade Wentz and Ertz in the same deal, then we are looking at, I mean, like a lot of
draft galore.
Yeah,
draft capital galore.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like a draft guy, then I mean, okay, here's the thing. If you get Zach Ertz and Wentz in the same deal for 2 firsts and second, I mean, that would probably be like the best thing that we did, like since we won the Super Bowl. Like in terms of like off season stuff like that, like we haven't been that great in the off season, like since like 2017, since 2017, like when we like got Torrey Smith and Alshon in the offseason, like we haven't really had like an amazing like smart move. If we can do that, like put Wentz and Ertz in the same deal and get what? How many picks? Like 3 early picks.
Three
I mean,
early
yeah.
rounders.
I mean, like that would be insane, to be honest.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And speaking of what's it called? Because Cole,
Hmm.
what was I gonna say? You brought up Alex Singleton.
Oh yeah,
So what are your thoughts on Alex Singleton going into next year?
he's a beast. I mean, I like him a lot. He's the best linebacker we've had since what's his name, Jordan Hicks, in frickin' the Super Bowl year. Like I liked him a lot this year. Like he was a big part of our defense. He seemed like he fit right in, and he was a natural leader on that defense. He called guys out when he needed to call them out. He was pretty good in pass coverage. He always shot the gap well and got his sacks he needed, made some big plays, and honestly, that's what we need. And now we need people to complement his talents and give us stuff that he doesn't have. And hopefully, we can find that in this draft.
All right, so I'm gonna give you okay, I'm gonna give you hypothetical scenarios. So would you be okay with the Eagles moving Jalen Mills to cornerback 2 and moving Kayvon Wallace to starting strong safety?
100%.
Because Kayvon Wallace, I mean, like, okay, well, Kayvon Wallace, I mean, he's like a good player, but like he like hasn't really like gotten a chance to show like how good he actually is. So I mean, Jalen Mills is solid in coverage because remember we were getting absolutely torched by Dallas because Michael Jacquet was terrible, and then we put Mills on Gallup, and like like Gallup couldn't really get any separation on Jalen Mills, and like that's flashes that Jalen Mills could be a solid cornerback too.
Mills was our best cornerback when he played cornerback last year. I'm nothing mean to Slay or anything. I like Slay, but he played the best cornerback out of anyone last year. Plus, if we move Kayvon Wallace or even Marcus Epps to safety, I'd be fine with it because then you have two lockdown corners pretty much. Well, not lockdown, but like good enough. And you have Ronnie McLeod, who just was insane this year at safety. Other safety may be a problem in our secondary, but I don't think it should totally affect the whole secondary.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure we have we have like a decent amount of free agents to sign because we have Greg Ward, Boston Scott. I'm pretty sure we have Jalen Mills to re-sign, and like with our cap situation, we don't have like a lot of money to spend on free agents. So I'm pretty sure like our free agency is pretty much going to be like locking up important guys for the future, like on like smaller cheap contracts, and then I guess just maybe sign like a couple small players in free agency on like short deals because like we pretty much can't do anything else because with our cap situation and plus trading Wentz, that makes it even harder to work our way out of this cap situation. So I think we're gonna have to build, like through the draft, and hopefully we can draft well.
I mean, free agency is just going to be all about getting the guys we need to fill back up our team. Like we're just going to re-sign the same players, and then if we have, like 200,000, we're going to bring on some practice squad guys because we're actually okay at that, and we're going to bring them in and we're going to see what they can do, and hopefully we find hidden gems like we usually do.
The one good thing about the Eagles is that we have the best practice squad in the NFL. I mean,
Yeah, our
we
practice
we
squad
we, we
stacked. I
showed
don't
that in
understand that.
2019 when
And 2020.
like I mean we basically had like some like guys like coming off the streets and catching passes for. So like
We
a
have the best
positive
B
about
team.
us, we have the best practice squad in the NFL because Boston Scott came off the practice squad, Greg Ward off the practice squad. I think Singleton was also on the practice
Yeah.
squad. So we are like the best at developing players off the practice squad. That's really it. That's like the only positive on our team is that we have a really good practice squad. That's really it. All right, so we're gonna move on to the Phillies and Cole. I mean, obviously we have the big signing of JT Realmuto. What was it, 5 years, 150,
It was
And then
5 years, 123.5 million. Or am I wrong? No, 100.
It was like
God, I forget what it was. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Hold on.
something around there.
and we also have the re-signing of what's it called? Didi
DD.
Gregorius.
It
So
was
that was a good move.
115.5 million over 5 years.
All right, so Cole, what are your instant thoughts on those two like re-signings, Didi and JT?
Great deals. I mean, we needed to bring back Real Muto. That's a no question. Now we get to bring back DD too. Our offense is going to be as good as it was last year. That's the strength of the team. Our offense is going to carry us to 20 wins again, like they did last year. Well, not 20 wins, but like more than that, because it's actually not a shortened season anymore. So they're going to carry us to like a little bit below 500. Plus, we have improved bullpen. I'm still not sold on it. I need to see them play because it seems like every person we bring in sucks, but need to see that improve. And we just gave depth after depth after depth to the back end of this rotation, which is huge for the playoffs. If we actually make the playoffs somehow this year, that's huge because then we can use that in the bullpen. And if people need off days, well, now we have like Matt Moore, Chase Anderson, Spencer Howard, Adonis Medina, Vince Velasquez, all willing to, fight for spots and just use them whenever we need to use them this year.
And I'm pretty sure all Philly fans, like were mad about Alec Boehm getting snubbed from Rookie of the Year. So, how big of a leap do you see Alec Boehm taking in his second year?
You want to answer this first, Cody?
Yeah. Well, I think he's gonna go sicko mode. I think he's gonna go off. I think he's gonna prove himself. He's gonna be one of the best third basemen in the NL. I'm not gonna say like the league. He could be one of the best third basemen in the league, but he's also his defense is gonna improve. I can see that, and his bat's gonna be dangerous. I know that.
I think he's going to be not exactly the same Boehm, like not like numbers wise, but I think we'll get basically what he gave us last year, maybe like a 290 batting average, like an 860 OPS. And I think we're also going to see a bit of a power surge start to come out. Like last year, I had like four home runs, which is not really exactly impressive. But now I think we're going to see him take the next step, maybe like 25 home runs, 30 home runs, which will be huge. And his defense, I don't think will ever be Gold Glove caliber. I don't think it will ever be amazing. I think he can make it, just be like a serviceable guy out there at third base. And, whenever Reese is done, or even if the DH comes back, then we also always have that option of putting Boehm out as our DH, or even putting Reese at our DH and Boehm at first base, because Reese is terrible over at first too. But yeah.
All right, and so what are your thoughts on the 1-2 punch in a rotation of Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, and how do you think they perform, like this year? Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler.
Go ahead, Cody.
All right, me?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Nolan, I mean, in my eyes, Zach Wheeler performed better than Nolan last year. So I think Nolan's going to have a bounce back year, and I think he's going to be in the race for the Cy Young award. And I also think Zach Wheeler, I think they're going to have like a little competition against each other. And I think they're both going to be doing really well. And I think they both will be in the Cy Young mix, especially with them having confidence now because our bullpen is like better. It's gotten better. And I think they won't, like, it will release stress off of them. They won't have to worry about going so long and like trying to throw their arms out and all that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a nasty 1-2 punch like we always do. Nola, he's gonna be a Cy Young candidate. I mean, he's amazing. I love Nola. He's so good. Of course, he was from LSU too, so But no, Nola's gonna have a great year. I don't think Wheeler's gonna have a Cy Young candidate year like he had last year. I was looking at different sabermetric advanced analytics almost, and I can really see him taking a step back, but it's not like it's going to affect us. He's not going to be like a solid number 4. I'd say he's be like a nice solid number 2, maybe one of the best solid 2s we have out there right now in the MLB. I don't know. I just think we'll have a really good 1-2 punch for the postseason if we do make the postseason. And Eflin's not half bad either. I think Eflin is going to take a big jump. Same with Spencer Howard, and the other guys will just be there because they're basically no names.
All right. So the last topic that we're gonna cover is which Phillies. Hold on. All right, which Phillies player do you think will take a big step in 2021?
I'll go first for this one.
Yeah.
I personally think, all right, it's a bold take, but I'm going to say it. I think Connor Brogdon, our relief pitcher, is going to take a huge step this year. I think last year he showed towards the end of the year when he was pitching, I think he showed he could be really good. And I think this year, put it all together, and I think we'll have a great sophomore season. And I think he'll perform and maybe even be a back of the end of the bullpen guy at the end of the year, which is exactly what we need because we need to find our closer. And I love Archie, but I think he's a setup man.
All right, so Cole, you chose who?
Connor Brogdon.
All right, and Cody, who are you choosing for your breakout Phillies player this year?
Well, it depends how much he plays. Now, Scott Kingery, he's a utility man, but I think after the year he had last year, because I'm pretty sure he had COVID and came back, and he was not good at all last year. But I have a feeling he's going to have a bounce back year like he did his rookie season, I want to say. He had a really good year, I think. I don't know.
I think it was sophomore. It was sophomore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he had a really good sophomore year, and I think he's going to bounce back and become a really good utility man. And we can even stick him out in center field. We can even have him starting in center field if he proves himself that he is an everyday player.
All right, so if I were to pick one, I'd probably go with, it's kind of an obvious, but I'm going to say Alec Bohm. I can honestly see him batting near 300 this year. Because he has so much potential. You saw him last year. How good he was hitting. I think Alec Bohm will bat near 300 this year. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you for listening to the Underdog podcast. We can get daily Philly sports content. And Cole and Cody, thanks for coming on here.
Make sure to follow all of our socials too.
Yeah.
We have
I'll link
a
them in the
TikTok
description.
account. Yeah. Just follow everything there, honestly.
All right.